This is exercise 1D, D2 7th edition, question number 3 from intermediate level. For each of the following equations, state the two variables which are inversely proportional to each other and explain your answer. Part A is y is equal to 3 over x square. Now, here y and x are two variables and they will be inversely proportional if their product is a constant, which means if I will increase the value for y, then I have to decrease the value for x, so that my answer will be always equal to 3. So when product of y and x square is equal to a constant, then y and x square, they are inversely proportional. In part B, they have given us y is equal to 1 over under root x. Y is equal to 1 by under root x. Now here you can write it as y multiplied by under root x is equal to 1. So because the product of y and under root x is a constant, mean their answer of the product, the answer for the product of y and under root x will always be equal to 1. Hence, I can say that y is inversely proportional to 1 over under root x. Part C is y square is equal to 5 over x cube. So y square is equal to 5 over x cube. From here you can write it as y square dot mean multiply x cube is equal to 5. So because the product of y square and x cube is equal to 5, which is a constant, which means the product of y square and x cube is never going to change. Now for that, if I will increase the value for y, then I have to decrease the value for x, so that my answer will always be equal to 5. Part D is n is equal to 7 over m minus 1. N is equal to 7 over m minus 1. Now from here you can write it as n into m minus 1 is equal to 7. Now because the product of n and m minus 1 is a constant, hence m and m minus 1, they are inversely proportional. And part number E, q is equal to 4 over p plus 1 whole square. You can write it as q into p plus 1 whole square equals 4. Now that means q is inversely proportional to p plus 1 whole square. Question number 4 is, if z is inversely proportional to cube root of x and z is 5 when x is 64. First of all, write down the relationship between z and cube root of x. This is question number 4. So as given, z is inversely proportional to cube root of x. Now from here you can write it in equation form by replacing the proportionality sign with equality sign and inserting a constant k, whose value is to be determined. Now it will become z is equal to k over cube root of x, as they have given us that z is 5 when x is 64. So z is 5 when x is 64. Now from here you can find the value for k by using z equal to 5 and x equal to 64. So in place of z, use 5 is equal to k over cube root of x, and here x is 64. Now if you take the cube root of 64, basically 64 is cube of 4. So replacing this, 5 is equal to k over 4 cube and cube root of 4 cube. Now cube root and cube, they are cancelled, so 5 is equal to k by 4. 4 and 5, they will be multiplied, that is 20. So you got the value for k. Then our equation connecting z and cube root of x is z is equal to 20 over cube root of x. Now this is the value of k which we have obtained, so you can use it now. Next, this is find the value of z when x is 216. After finding the value of k, now you have to find the value for z when x is 216. Now simply use these values in your equation or the relation connecting z and cube root of x. Now because z is to be obtained, so z will be written as it is equal to 20, which is the value for k, over cube root of x, which is 216. Now 216 is basically a cube of 6. Now here you can write it as z is equal to 20 over 6 cube and cube root. Now this cube root and this cube, they will be cancelled, so z will be equal to 20 by 6, and from here your answer will be equal to 3.33, or you can write it as 10 by 3 in fraction form. Then we have question number 5. If q square is inversely proportional to p plus 3. First of all, write down your relationship. Q square is inversely proportional to p plus 3. Now from here, q square will be equal to k over p plus 3. You can insert a constant k to replace proportionality sign with equality sign. Now find k, and for that you have been given the value for q when p is 2. So q is 5, so use q equal to 5 and p equal to 2. Now in place of q, use 5, that is equal to k over p plus 3. So in place of p, use 2 plus 3. So from here, k will be equal to, this is 5 square. I can write one more step. 5 square is equal to k over 2 plus 3, 5. And this 5 will be multiplied with this 5 square. So 5 square is 125, 125 into, so 5 square is 25, 25 into 5 is 125. So k is 125. Now you have to find the value of q when p is 17. So after finding k, you have to find the value of q when p is 17. Write down the equation connecting q and p. This is the equation where q is to be obtained. k has been obtained, which is 125 over p plus 3, where p is 17. P is 17 plus 3. So from here q square will be equal to 125 by 20. So you can simplify it. 525 times 125, 5 4 times 20. Now take square root on both the sides in order to get rid of this square. So here q will be equal to 5 by 4. So it is basically 2. By mistake, square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 25 is 5 with the sign of plus minus. Now you can write it as plus minus 2.5. Question number 6, they have given that t is inversely proportional to s cube. So how you are going to write this? T is inversely proportional to s cube. So from here you can write it 1 over s cube. Sorry, t is inversely proportional to 1 over s cube. Now from here you can write it as t is equal to k over s cube, because you have to replace this proportionality sign with the equality sign by inserting a constant k. Now from the table you have to complete, or you have to fill in the missing values, whereas you have to first of all find the value of k, and that is possible if you have been given both the value of s and t. So from this table, look out for the column where you have been given both the values. This is the column where you have been given both the values for s and t. When s is 1, t is 80. When s is 1, t is 80. Now we can find the value of k from here using t equal to 80, k over s cube. S is 1, so 1 cube is again 1. So 1 into 80 will give you the value for k, which will be 80. Now you have to complete the table. Now when talking about s is equal to 2, you have to obtain the value for t. Write down the relationship or the equation connecting t and s. Now t is equal to k over s cube. As you know that we have obtained the value for k, which is 80 over s cube. Now we have the value for s, that is 2. So use s equal to 2, and because there is a cube of s, so there will be 2 cube. So from here t will be equal to 80 over 8. 2 cube is 8, and 8 1 times 8, 8 10 times 80. So t will be equal to 10. So here the value for t is 10. Now when s is 4, we have to find the value for t. S is 4, find the value of t. Again use the equation that connects t and s. Now you can use s4 over here. T will be equal to 80. In place of s, use 4 and take cube of 4. That will be 80 over 64, and you can find your answer. 80 over 64 equals 1.25. So that is the value for t when s is 4. Now we have to find the value of s when t is 0.08. Now t is given 0.08, and we have to find the value for s. Write down your equation. T is equal to k over s cube. Now t is 0.08 is equal to k. K is 80. over s cube. Now from here move s cube over here, it will become 0.08. S cube is equal to 80. Now s cube is equal to 80 over 0.08. So dividing 80 and 0.08 will give you s cube equal to 1000. Now take cube root on both sides. Cube and cube root is cancelled, while cube root of 1000, basically 1000 is 10 cube. Take cube root of 10 cube. Now they will be cancelled. Your answer will be 10. Question number 7. Now this is an interesting question. When the force of repulsion represented by F between the two particles is inversely proportional. Now this is inversely proportional to square of the distance, mean d square, between the particles. So there are two particles and the force of repulsion between these two particles is inversely proportional to square of the distance, and this is the distance between them. So write down a formula connecting F and D. So from here you can write it as F is equal to K over D square, replacing proportionality sign by equality sign. This is part 1. Now when the particles are certain distance apart, this is to be noted that certain distance apart, they have not given you any distance. However, they have said that D is some certain distance and you can take it as x. So take distance equal to x, then your equation will become F is equal to K over x square, replacing D by x. And you can find the value of K from here. Now K will be equal to F, where x will be multiplied with F, so it will become Fx square. This is the value for K. Now they have asked you to find the force and when the distance is halved. However, they have also given you that when the particles are certain distance apart, mean when the particles are x distance apart, your value for F is 20. Okay. They have also given you the value for F here when distance is equal to x, F is equal to 20. So using D equal to x, then use F equal to 20. So just putting the value for F, it will be 20x square. Now find the force. Now you have to find the force when distance is halved. As you know that distance was equal to x, and if you want to halve it, mean if you want to make the distance half, then you have to divide x by 2. Previously our distance was x, now we divide it by 2 in order to make the distance half. Now write down the equation connecting F and D. F is equal to K over D square. As you know, F is to be obtained. You have the value for K, 20x square. Use it as 20x square, this value for K, while D is half of x. So in place of D, use x by 2 and take square, as this is D square. Solve this one, simplify this one. It will be x over 2 square, that is x square over 4. You can multiply this 4 over here, whereas x square and x square will be cancelled. So 20 into 4 will give you 80 as value for F. So 80 Newton is your answer. In question number 8, they have given us that for a fixed volume, the height 8 centimeter of a cone is inversely proportional to the square of the base radius r. So according to the information, height of cone is inversely proportional to base radius square. Base radius square of base radius. H is inversely proportional to square of base radius. The cone A has a base radius of 6, cone A base radius 6 and a height of 5. The height of 5. Now using R6 and H5 you can find the value for K. R is 6, H is 5, 6 square is 36, 36 into 5 will give you the value for K, that is 180. Now for cone B, here they have told us that for cone B, base radius is 3 and height is to be obtained. Base radius of cone B is 3 and the height of cone C is given. Height of cone B is missing. Base radius of cone B is 3, height is missing. H is equal to 180 over R square, where R is 3 and 3 square is 9. 180 over 9 will give you 20, the height of cone B. Whereas for cone C, they have given you the height for cone C, which is 1.25, whereas they have asked you to find the base radius for cone C. So R square will be moving on the left side and 1.25 will be coming on the right side. It will become R square is equal to 180 over 1.25, which will give you 144 equal to R square. So take square root on the both sides, you will get the value for R equal to 12 centimeter. So this is the solution up to question number 8. If you haven't subscribed the channel, subscribe it to get updates on solutions for D. Thank you so much.